November 12, 2025, at exactly 5:17 a.m., international waters in the Caribbean Sea exploded with gunfire due to a catastrophic mistake made by the Venezuelan patrol boat, Guaycapuro. Without any warning, its Automalera 76mm cannon opened fire, cutting through the darkness straight toward the USS Gravely. 18 seconds. That's all it took for the Venezuelans to realize they just signed their own death warrant. Smash that like button, drop a comment, and subscribe as we walk you through exactly how the U.S. Navy dismantled Venezuela's ambush in seconds. The all-seeing eye of the P-8A Poseidon. The P-8A Poseidon exists for the primary purpose of looking down. Its primary weapon isn't a missile, it's the AN/APY-10 multi-mission radar housed in its chin-mounted dome. Think of it less like a simple radar sweep and more like a high-powered MRI scanner for the ocean surface. It operates in multiple modes, but its true strength is synthetic aperture radar capability. It takes thousands of radar snapshots per second as it flies, using onboard supercomputers to stitch them together into photograph-quality images. This is how an operator can differentiate the radar signature of a 2,500-ton Venezuelan patrol boat from a 3,000-ton civilian freighter from 150 miles away. As the P-8's radar paints the tactical picture, human sensor operators tag potential threats. That data, position, course, speed, and high-fidelity radar imagery is compressed and transmitted over Link 16. Link 16 is the military's private, encrypted, jam-proof internet in the sky. The signal travels from the P-8 to a satellite, then down to the Combat Information Center aboard USS Gravely. There, it doesn't appear as a voice report that someone has to transcribe. It populates automatically as a hostile contact on the Aegis Combat System's main display, complete with all the tactical data the P-8 just gathered. The Venezuelan ship has no idea it's been identified, classified, and targeted before its crew has even finished morning coffee. But the P-8 has a critical vulnerability. It's still a 737, big, loud, with the stealth profile of a flying school bus. This is why it operates from standoff distance, just outside the engagement envelope of Venezuela's coastal air defenses. A calculated risk. Its overwhelming surveillance strength is balanced by physical vulnerability. And so it circles, the unseen eye in the sky, watching as the Venezuelans sailed confidently into a trap set for them hours ago. Venezuela's opening move. At exactly 5:17 a.m., the Venezuelan captain's order cut through the silence. Fuego! Fire! This was their moment, the culmination of their high-risk gamble. Their entire strategy hinged on bringing the fight into a phone booth, getting close enough that American technology couldn't save them. Their weapon of choice, the Automalera 76mm cannon. It is a sawed-off shotgun on steroids. Its job is simple. Act like a giant high-speed sand blaster, shredding everything on an enemy's deck with a torrent of 100 high-explosive shells per minute. Radar antennas, communications equipment, exposed personnel, all reduced to scrap metal. Their doctrine demanded they get close enough to see the rust on an enemy's hull, land a devastating first punch, then vanish back into the island maze before the giant could respond. Smart tactics for a smaller, scrappier navy. But it was all built on one critical, fatal assumption, that their approach had gone unnoticed. They believed they were the hunters setting an ambush. They had no idea they were the ones who had already walked into the trap. The American response to the audacity of the Venezuelans. The American response was silent, digital, and utterly dismissive. Inside Gravely's Combat Information Center, there was no panic, only process. The first layer of defense was like an electronic hide-and-seek. The destroyer's powerful ANSLQ-32 electronic warfare suite nicknamed Sidekick came to life. This is the ship's master of deception. First, Gravely went into MCON, emissions control, minimizing its own radar signatures until its 9,000-ton frame had the electronic profile of a small fishing trawler. Then Sidekick began its real work, digital spoofing. It projected multiple powerful fake radar returns into the ether. Ghost ships, luring Venezuelan gunners into wasting precious ammunition on empty patches of ocean. While the Venezuelans fought phantoms, the real threat to those 76mm shells was being addressed. This is the job of the RIM-162 Evolved Sea Sparrow missile, the ESSM. It's a guardian angel in missile form. An incoming shell is tracked by the Aegis system, which calculates a precise intercept point in three-dimensional space. The ESSM launches, not flying directly at the shell, but toward that calculated point in the sky. In its final seconds, the missile's own seeker activates, making micro-adjustments as it pulls up to 50 Gs, a maneuver that would crush any human pilot in a bid to guarantee the intercept. It's the ultimate defensive shortstop, and it swatted Venezuelan shells out of the sky with cold, automated efficiency. The Venezuelans thought they were in a knife fight. The Americans had just proven they weren't even in the same room. Venezuela's GPS jamming and drone swarms. Just as Gravely's crew methodically dismantled the initial attack, the battle space warped. This was Venezuela's ace in the hole, a surprisingly sophisticated move that showed they weren't relying solely on brute force. From a hidden coastal battery, a Russian-made Borisogledsk 2E electronic warfare system, likely operated by foreign advisors, activated. It didn't fire a missile. Instead, it unleashed a powerful localized GPS jamming bubble. Suddenly, the precision-guided world the U.S. Navy operates in became fuzzy and unreliable. Simultaneously, a new threat emerged on radar, closing at high speed. It wasn't one contact, but dozens. A swarm of cheap commercial-grade drones, each likely carrying a small explosive charge launched from nearby islands. This was classic swarm tactics with a brilliant twist. The drones weren't the real threat. They were a distraction. Their purpose was to force Gravely to focus its formidable defenses, its CIWS, and its ESSM batteries on cheap incoming targets. They were the Matador's cape, designed to draw the bull's attention while the real killer, the Borisogledsk system, prepared to strike. A countdown clock appeared on Gravely's main screen. 90 seconds. That's how long they had until the drone swarm was on top of them and their GPS-guided weapons were flying blind. The Venezuelans had laid a masterful trap, jamming combined with a drone swarm. But they made one fundamental error. They assumed the fight was limited to what they could see on the horizon. The hammer falls as the SM-2 strike. The American solution came from a place the Venezuelans couldn't see and couldn't touch. Gravely executed what on Venezuelan radar looked like a retreat. This was the bait. As Guaycapuro and its drone swarm pushed forward, emboldened, they moved further from the protective umbrella of their coastal jamming. Then the hammer fell. The order wasn't given to fire an anti-drone weapon. It was an order to fire the SM-2, the Standard Missile-2. This is the Aegis system's long-range sword. While the ESSM is a fencer's foil for close-in defense, the SM-2 is a 9-foot claymore designed for over-the-horizon warfare. How does it work when GPS is jammed? It doesn't need GPS. The SM-2 launches using inertial guidance, a sophisticated internal gyroscope and accelerometer system that knows where it is in space without external signals. It flies most of its 90 nautical mile range on this dead reckoning, receiving only periodic course corrections from Gravely's powerful SPY-1 radar. Only in its final moments does its own radar seeker activate to paint the target. It's technology designed specifically to defeat the kind of electronic warfare the Venezuelans were using. A voice cut through the Combat Information Center. False retreat complete. Come about. Engage targets. The game had changed again. This had become a deep water execution. The Symphony of Destructions. The SM-2 missiles launched from over the horizon were the lead instruments. On the main screen in Gravely's Combat Information Center, their icons streaked across the tactical map, their flight paths calculated not just for speed, but for timing. This is the art of time-on-target strikes, where multiple weapons fired at different moments from different locations are choreographed to arrive at the exact same second. It's the naval equivalent of checkmate delivered from three sides of the board simultaneously. As the missiles began their terminal dive, a final countdown appeared: 10, 9, 8. This was the moment where physics, data, and decades of training converged into a single inevitable outcome. The first SM-2 wasn't aimed at Guaycapuro's waterline. That would be too crude. Its target was a 3-foot square section of superstructure housing the ship's main fire control radar. The missile's proximity fuse detonated its high-explosive fragmentation warhead at the perfect moment, just meters above the target. Thousands of preformed tungsten fragments shredded delicate radar arrays and communication antennas, instantly blinding the Venezuelan vessel and severing its connection to shore command. By destroying the ship's ability to fight, the U.S. Navy could de-escalate while still achieving its military objective. However, battle damage assessment from the P-8's high-resolution camera showed a secondary system still active. The order was given for a second strike. This one was different, aimed at the engine room, no longer a warning. Boom! The second missile hit with the force of a freight train. Its kinetic energy alone tore through the thin hull before the warhead detonated inside the engine compartment. Guaycapuro was ripped apart from the inside out. The last sting of the Venezuelan attack. But even in its death throes, the Venezuelan trap had one last sting. The surviving drones from the initial swarm continued dumbly on their last known flight path. A mindless final charge. This is what the Phalanx close-in weapon system was born for. The ship's last line of defense, a completely autonomous guardian. Its nickname is R2D2 with a Gatling gun for good reason. Its integrated search and track radar detected the incoming drones, classified them as imminent threats, and calculated firing solutions without a single human command. The distinctive, terrifying buzz of its 20mm Vulcan cannon ripped through the air as it spat out 4,500 tungsten rounds per minute, creating a literal wall of metal that vaporized the drones one by one. The fight was over. The aftermath of the battle, 6:45 a.m. The sun rose over the now calm Caribbean water. The sinking of Guaycapuro was a tactical victory, but the real win was measured in spreadsheets and intelligence reports. Back in Washington, the analysis was brutal. First, by neutralizing a key patrol vessel, the U.S. Navy blew a hole in the narco-state's primary revenue stream. Coke flow for a time choked off. Second, the psychological impact. The ease and precision of the American response sent shockwaves through Venezuelan military command. Their best coastal defense trap, their home field advantage, dismantled with ease. Morale plummeted. The cost analysis was equally brutal. Venezuela lost a $200 million patrol boat, 3 coastal radar installations, and 73 personnel. On the other hand, the United States lost 4 SM-2 missiles at roughly $2 million each, 3 ESSM interceptors at $1.2 million total, and approximately 4,500 rounds of 20mm ammunition worth $18,000. That's a total cost of $9.2 million. Within 48 hours, President Trump issued a direct ultimatum to Caracas: stand down all aggressive naval patrols or face systematic destruction of Venezuela's entire coastal defense network. The message was clear. The poker game was over. The Venezuelans had tried to bluff with a pair of 2s. The Americans had just shown them a royal flush, printed on cards they owned in a casino they built. In the dark waters of the Caribbean, Venezuela made the classic mistake of confusing tactical aggression with strategic strength. They brought a knife to a drone fight, thinking geography would save them. They received the painful truth that modern naval warfare isn't about who shoots first. It's about who sees first, who processes information faster, and who can deliver overwhelming surgical blows from ranges the enemy can't even comprehend. If you found this breakdown insightful, hit that subscribe button and share this video. Your support helps us bring more untold stories of modern military operations to light.